call the case of State of Utah versus Kentrell Deshawn Galden, case 241100468. Counsel, please state your names for the record.
Aaron Jossie for the state.
Drew Finling and Zach Finling on behalf of Mr. Galden.
All right. We're here today for a preliminary hearing and a bail hearing. I've had the opportunity to meet with the attorneys in chambers, and it does appear that there has been some type of an arrangement reached between the parties. Mr. Finling, would you like to go ahead and state that for the record, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, counsel for the state and myself have been in negotiation really since yesterday, but throughout this morning, and I've explained those negotiations to Mr. Galden. We are going to waive a preliminary hearing in this matter. In exchange for that, a bond will be set at $100,000. Mr. Galden will be able to use a commercial company to make that bond. That will be an aggregate bond covering everything in total as contained in the charging instrument.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Finling. Mr. Keller, does that accurately represent the agreement that's been reached between the state and Mr. Galden?
Yes, it does, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Galden, have you had enough time to speak to your attorneys about this decision to waive your right to your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
All right. Do you understand that the standard at a preliminary hearing is a much lower burden of proof that the government would have to meet than at trial? So instead of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, it's a lower burden of proof, which is there a reasonable belief that a crime was committed by you? And the court has to view all the evidence that it would receive in a light most favorable to the government, to the prosecution. Understanding that legal standard and having had discussions with your attorneys, do you hereby waive your right to your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
All right. The court finds that Mr. Galden has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to his preliminary hearing. He will be bound over for trial on all the charges set forth in the information, the charging document in this case. Bail will be set through stipulation of the parties at $100,000. That will be bondable. And in talking to the attorneys, it sounds like they would like to set this out for an arraignment at a later point in time. Mr. Finling, would you like to go ahead and articulate anything specific related to that?
Yes, Your Honor. As discussed in chambers, and I explained to Mr. Galden, even if it's set out for arraignment, say in 60 days, the court has made it clear through discussion with counsel, if there is a resolution well before then, we're welcome to come back before Your Honor at any point in the future.
Okay, very good. So we'll set Mr. Galden's arraignment out in about 60 days. That arraignment would take place through WebEx. We'll have Mr. Galden brought here to the courthouse, and then if Mr. Finling would like to appear remotely for that hearing, he may do so. Also, if the attorneys reach some sort of resolution prior to those 60 days expiring, then just reach out to Angie and we'll get that on my calendar in a timely fashion. Angie, a date about 60 days out for that arraignment on a Monday morning probably. July 1st, at what time? 9? Okay, so that would be July 1st at 9 a.m. or 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time, whatever you'd prefer.
Either one.
Okay, let's do 9 a.m. Does that work for the state?
It does, yes.
All right, Mr. Galden, your arraignment will be July 1st, 9 a.m. You'll be brought over from the Cache County Jail, assuming that you're still incarcerated. If not, you'd be able to appear remotely for that hearing as well, or appear in person, whatever your preference would be. Is there anything else that needs to be stated on the record here today, counsel?
On behalf of Mr. Galden.
Nothing further from the state.
All right, with that, we'll conclude this hearing. Court is adjourned.
Touch base with Angie. Okay, specific parameters. You let her know. That's what it
Just let them know that's what we do.
All right. Now, this was just a hearing for NBA YoungBoy to get a bail. First thing I want to say, right? Never waive your preliminary hearing. That's the first thing I want to say. Your preliminary hearing is important. It's your boy DZ, man. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button and share this video. It's not about the setback, it's about the get back. Now, you never want to waive your preliminary hearing because the preliminary hearing is where the prosecutor, the government, the state shows the probable cause and the evidence that got you the indictment. The officer, whoever is in charge of the case, will testify about the evidence they have and will give a base of how the case has came about. So you want to see that evidence. And generally, lawyers ask you to waive your preliminary hearing. And most people don't understand that they shouldn't waive the preliminary hearing because it's a part where you see the evidence. And being as though NBA YoungBoy's rich, he doesn't understand that you should have your preliminary hearing. All he's seeing that they're telling him is, if you waive the preliminary hearing, then we're going to give you the bond. So he weighed the option as, I'm going to take the bond. Because they could, if you have a preliminary hearing, revoke and say, we don't want to give you a bond and fight with you against that. But then you don't get to see the evidence, and then they get to make up things along the way. They get to gradually present and bring their case without having to let you know the evidence ahead of time. They get to send that to you in a discovery. So NBA YoungBoy should have had that preliminary hearing so he could have seen what they had against him and what they were saying. And honestly, I think that they really don't have a strong case with the prescription fraud, because if they did, they would have revoked the bail that he was already currently on and not gave him a bail for this situation. In my opinion, I think that they are allowing him to go on bail so that they can build more of a case, because they know people with money think that they're slicker than the system. So while he's on bail, he's going to continue to want to use the syrup and get high. So he's going to have to find means to get these things. And they know this because he's an addict, and they know he's an addict. He's just an addict with money. So this situation here is like they're putting him in a situation to play himself. And he's smiling right here, thinking that he's doing something. When you're putting yourself deeper in the hole with the system. And this is with the government. This is with the feds. The government wants to shut him down. You got to think about this. The people that are working for the government don't make as much money as he do. They get a thrill out of breaking somebody like him down. They don't got as much money as he got, but it let them know that we can still touch him. Even though our money is not as long as his, we can still touch him. But when you in these situations and you on top of your game and your world, you're blind to other things. And he's just building more situations up on himself that he's going to have to answer to. And it's making it easier for the government to take him down. And he's only 24 years old. At 24, you got all the money. You're not as mature as you want to be, especially when you're able to do whatever you want to do. You didn't have to have, whereas though you have to put things together in a different light. They're just there for you now. Everybody's at your feet. But I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about that situation. Do y'all think that he's guilty in this fraud case? Because I don't think that they have a big case on it, because if they did, they wouldn't have gave him another bail. He beat the one case. He has the open gun case that he's fighting now. And now he has an open prescription fraud case. And being as though that they're trying to say that he was calling as a doctor and it's a ring of people, somebody's telling in this situation. Could it be him? Could he be the one telling? It's one of those situations. And just because he's the one with all the money doesn't mean that he won't be the one telling, because he doesn't want to go to jail for real. In this situation, when you got all the money and you doing what you want, you don't want to give up that to go sit in the jail. You don't want to leave your girl, your family to go sit in jail, especially on the top of your game. See, what these celebrities and these artists do, they talk heavy like they ready to go to jail. They talk like they ready to go sit in that cell. But when they in that cell, they don't want to be there. They crying. They think they're supposed to have special privileges. This is inhumane. But this is what everybody else in the jail is going through. But they think because they got money that they supposed to have a special treatment. And in today's world, money doesn't hold the weight as if it did years ago when you would get in trouble. You could buy your way out of some things. Now they're going to let you buy your way out of some things, but when the time is up, the gig is up, they're going to crack your head, stick it to you. They just building things on top of you so they can be able to take you out. That's it. And the young brother doesn't see it because he has all the money and he has all the fame and attention. But they'll break you down the hard way. It's their game. It's designed to benefit them. It's just some people make it through the situation. The laws are designed to benefit them. And if something isn't benefiting their system, they're going to change the law. This is what they do. And a lot of people don't have the knowledge of the law at all and expect to hire a lawyer to do everything for them, and then they don't do any research. You got to research your own case. If you are in a situation, you have to sit down and research and study what you're going through. The lawyer's job is to guide you and tell you, but they only going to tell you but so much. They only going to enlighten you so much. They know you don't know. And if you ever had a lawyer and the lawyer feels that you know enough, they really don't want to deal with you. Because they feel like you challenging their expertise. They don't want to deal with someone that wants to study and fight for themselves. They want you to go with what they're saying. And you see how his lawyer and the prosecutor said they were having many discussions. They're back and forth. They're trying to come to an agreement to get the bail. These people go to school together. They have relationships. They have a job to do, yes, but they make the job look the way it looks when it's in action, but when the court lights are not in action, they're totally different. They're laughing, they're joking with each other, they're having different conversations that they wouldn't have around you. They're like a secret society. And the only way that they get turned on against each other is if a group of their peers are turning on a person and it's evidence turning against. Besides that, they're not going to go against each other. They're going to ride with each other to the end. They feel that because they have law degrees that they're above others that don't have a law degree. Because they have more knowledge, they feel that they're superior. But they do wrong too. They make mistakes too. But they act like they don't. They act like they don't make mistakes, that they're never wrong, and that they are the law because they studied and they understand the law. And it's not as complicated to learn things about the law. It's just the wording, how they put things. And a lot of times they're referencing other cases from similar situations that have been ruled in Supreme Court so that you know the case is solid. That's how they reference a lot of things. NBA YoungBoy should be studying while he's sitting in the house. I'm sure his 3 years that he sat in the house on house arrest, he didn't study no law. Because all he felt was, I got a lawyer to represent me. I have a lawyer to represent me, so I'm going to pay attention to what my lawyer's telling me. When you should never do that. You need to come to the table as well and tell the lawyer what you learned. What you know about the situation, what case laws you study. Because then that lets the lawyer know that you care about your freedom. You care about you not going to jail. And if you think about it, the lawyer, the prosecutor, and the judge, they all go to the school for the same thing. They just have different positions, but they're all lawyers. They are about their business. So if you're not about your business and you're involved in their business, why would they be so concerned? Why would they care? If you go to jail or you don't, they still get paid. It's your freedom that's on the line. So I never understood why when people are in situations with the law that they don't want to study. It usually happens like when guys are in jail, they want to study more of the law. But when they're on the street, they just want to hire an attorney. When that's the time, you should want to go to the law library too. But in jail, the law library, everybody want to go. Everybody wants to go to the law library in jail, but when people are on the street, they just want to hire an attorney and expect the attorney to fight for their life as if it was theirs. The attorney doesn't get in any trouble if you go to jail or if you get found guilty of your case. The prosecutor, the judge, it doesn't weigh on these people's lives if the case doesn't go your way. So you have to be concerned with yourself. That's why we got to stop putting ourselves in them situations. We got to stop putting ourselves in them situations. It's important. It's very important to not put ourselves in a situation. And you can look and see NBA YoungBoy gonna play itself. And it's because the addiction. Being addicted to that syrup, when he gets free, he's gonna want that again. You gotta appreciate when you make it through certain situations. And he made it through the first gun case, fighting the second gun case, but then you go pick up a case like this. And being as though he is who he is, they're gonna make it big to the public. They're gonna make it look real big to the public and say it was a prescription fraud ring. And they know once they put it through the news, this is what everybody's gonna visualize. This is what everybody's gonna look at, that it's a prescription fraud case. Everybody's gonna look at it like that. And it might not be as big as they're saying, but it's who he is. That's the fact. We got a big fish on the hook. We get to take down a millionaire. So they don't care about nothing but getting that acknowledgement of taking him down. He doesn't understand that. And he keeps playing with these people, taunting them, not knowing that they can mess up 100 times. You only got one time. They can mess up 100 times. You got one time to mess up. In a situation like Young Thug makes it through his situation and gets out, he's going to be a lot more humble. Because he know he was on the edge. NBA YoungBoy has not been all the way to the edge, whereas though you're sitting in jail for years, fighting with your life on the line. He doesn't appreciate where he's at. And that's how most people are. When you get to a certain position in life and you at the height of your life, some people don't appreciate it without the experiences of losing things. And I mean being stripped to the bottom. When you strip to nothing, to the bottom, you have a lot of appreciation for the things that you accomplish, where you at in life. Just getting in the car, going to the store is valuable. But the money that they print to us, this illusion, sometimes takes people's mind and take it to another level, whereas though they think they can't be touched. And everybody can be broke down and touched. The system is designed for that. Everybody can be broke down and touched. And everything you think you own can be taken from you. And when those things happen, all you get is talked about. You just another conversation. If he goes to jail, if they take his money, all it's going to be is another conversation. But when you in that position, you got to know how to maintain and uphold your position. Because there's going to be things coming at all angles to take you out. The distractions. The man on house arrest got caught up in a distraction of taking syrup. It got so deep that he wanted to fill his own prescriptions, allegedly. That's crazy. It got that deep. You want to call in to fill your own prescriptions. and act like you the doctor. And they saying that, you know, he has a distinctive voice. So if you try to make yourself sound like a woman or somebody else and you got a distinctive voice, no matter how you change it, it's still going to go back to you. And if they do got him on them phone calls, best believe the government is going to have certain kind of specialists that listen to the phone calls and be able to say, this is his voice here, this is his voice here. Do you hear this? This sign here? Do you hear this slang here? And they're going to be able to point the things out. It wasn't worth it. And as much money as he has, he would be a fool to have been making them type of phone calls. So that's why I'm trying to think to myself that they really don't have a strong case against him. He could have paid somebody else to make those phone calls. And maybe the person that was linked in with the situation was willing to cooperate. Because they said it's been going on for months. This has been going on for months, so they've been watching. And he's on house arrest. Rich and on house arrest. You knock one case out. They don't like that. They don't like to lose. Nobody likes to lose. So all he doing is exciting them. He making them feel like we got him. And he can't see it because he's stuck in his own zone. He blinded by his own success. You hear me? He blinded by his own success. And the crazy thing is he's at the height of his career. He got everything. And this is the time you supposed to pay attention. When you in position like this, you should be thinking everything can take you down. But our people think that we're bigger than life when we get in this position. When we like this, we think we bigger than life. We are bigger than life when we feel like we got that bag. Okay, he said he's not getting released yet. He got to go to Baton Rouge for the violation. Oh, yeah. So if you saying he got to go to Baton Rouge for that violation, right? They not going to lift that violation. They not going to lift that violation. I thought they was releasing him. I thought they was letting him go with that 100K bond. But if he got to go for the house arrest violation, I doubt that they let him go. And that makes it even more dumb on his behalf that he waived the preliminary hearing. I'm thinking he might have waived the preliminary hearing so that he can get a bond. Because sometimes they act funny if you try to have your preliminary hearing and they be like, okay, we're going to give you a higher bond because you had the preliminary hearing. The games that they play. But if he got to go for this hearing, they're not going to give him another bond. You was already on bond. They already know. And then he took a picture, right, of him laying on the floor like he was overdosing. And everybody seen that. The probation seen that. The judge seen that. That got forwarded around. So he let it be known that you got a habit right now. He has a habit right now. And now you're being charged with prescription fraud of the syrup. That was dumb. That was dumb. So you know the judge is not going to let him back out on bail. And he just waived this preliminary hearing where you could have seen all the evidence that they have against you. They would have laid it out. The officer would have came and testified. Whoever was investigating the situation would have had to come talk about that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you said this case is in Utah, but he got to go to Baton Rouge. Said his lawyer drew finding one of the best lawyers in the game, and YFN. Okay, yeah, listen, and he got YFN Lucci the best plea he probably was ever going to get. I can agree on that. He got YFN Lucci the best lawyer he was ever, the best plea he ever was going to get. Yeah, so when he go to Baton Rouge, he got to sit in front of that judge out there. And the judge is looking at it like, you on house arrest for something serious, which a lot of times they would have had people sit in jail for that situation. They would have had people sit in jail for that, what he on bail for. But being as though they got the money and who he is, they let him out on bail, let him have the security at his house. And he messed that up. And when you look at him in this court hearing, you can see the sickness from the addiction. Addiction wears on you. You can see it in your posture, in your face. Money can't hide that addiction. Makeup can't hide that addiction. You can see it. I'm saying, I don't recommend anybody to sit in jail and be in jail, but hopefully it'll clear the thinking up. Sometimes you be so clouded by everything that's going on in the world and you be so into the things you doing, you don't know how to air out. He might need some time to air out on that situation though. That's what I'm thinking. He might need some time to air out on that situation. Yeah, and that's a good thing that it is separate from the other case. That's definitely a good thing that it's separated from the other case. And I'm glad he do got a good lawyer on the situation, so. But you can't always listen to the good lawyer because then they feel like they can do whatever with you. You got to come to the table with information no matter if the lawyer is the best or not. You got to feel like you concerned about yourself. You got to research. Because if they feel that you ain't concerned about yourself, why would they be that concerned about you? It's like, that's your life. So, this situation here, I think it's going to be messy for him. That's my opinion. Yeah, the Fed case, I think is messy. The Fed case, I think is messy, but they saying that it was guns all outside. And I don't know if he specifically got caught red-handed with the gun because he took off running. So he has a fight with the case, and the case been going on so long. You know when they got an open and closed case. They at trial ASAP. Trial is there. You know when the case is open and closed, trial is there. It's going. But he was on house arrest for 3 years. He picked the one case off. He got the other case he fighting that he was on the house arrest for, and now he didn't caught this case. But that other case would have been the trial by now. The case he was on house arrest for would have been the trial right now if they had a case. And what they do too, right? They'll let you out on bail, right? Give you the bail, give you the little leeway so that they can get more cases on you. So that they can have more to go against you. Because if it ain't that strong, they got to build more. They'll let you out on bail when they need more evidence and they feel that you're going to go out there and play yourself. Yes, they will. Yeah. And he definitely has to be one of the luckiest men in history. Because all the chances this brother's getting, and he's smiling with it. It get crazy if they tell him that they gonna revoke the bail and then drag the case out. See, and you know they do that kind of stuff. They'll revoke your bail and drag your case out like you was on the street. If you on the street and they drag your case out, it's okay to you. You like, all right, I'm home. Let it. But in jail, to sit in jail while they drag your case out, push back your court dates, rescheduling everything is the worst. It's the worst. It's the worst. And I'm sure he don't want that. He don't want to sit in jail while they drag the case out. And then you got a new case. But then they might take it as in we're going to do a speedy trial in the situation. So we're going to see what comes out about this case with the prescription. We're going to see if he telling, if somebody else is telling. It's going to all come out. And I know he's sitting in jail right now sick. Ain't nothing like sitting home on your couch. Ankle monitor and all. Ain't nothing like it. In jail, you on a hard bed. You got to sit around all these dumb dudes telling these dumb stories. You got to live in the fantasy with these dumb jokers. This is what's going on in jail. And with him, he going to be on straight PC. He going to be on PC. Yeah, and listen, that's what I said. Take 3+ years to go to trial. He got a possibility to beat the charge he was on house arrest for. I really think he got the possibility to beat that. Because if they had a case, they taking you to trial when they got a case. When they feel it's signed and sealed, they taking you to trial. But when they drag it out, it's they trying to get something. They hoping to bump up on something. And then it's a lot of motions that be filed in between. They drag the motions out. He on bail for 3 years for the case, right? But they taking Trump to trial ASAP because they want Trump's case to be done. They feel they got a case against him. He's sitting on bail waiting while they keep pushing it back, dragging it out. And now they done bumped up on another case. Think about that. He's sitting on bail, waiting for 3 years with a bracelet on, and they got another case on him. Right now, they in there like, yeah. We got NBA. They in there right now like, yeah, we got NBA. We got him. We got Contrell, whatever his last name is. They like, we got him. So they like, it's like they patiently waited on him to play himself. Yo, what's happening? What's up? Yeah, they waited on him. They sat there and waited him out. And when he go for the hearing in Baton Rouge and they say that the bond is revoked, right? That's when it's going to kick in that he made a mistake. The mistake don't kick in ASAP. Sometimes the mistake don't be like, damn, man, I might make it out of this because he been making it out of so many things. Bro been making it out of everything. I ain't even gonna lie. He been making it out of everything. So if they revoke the bond and he don't make it out of this situation, oh, man. It's going to hurt. Because all the things that you idolize, those material things, they shut it down. And right, from in jail, they won't even let you run a business. You can't run nothing from jail. You got to have somebody else running everything. So you got to put your bank account, your trust into everybody else when you in jail. They don't care about your business while you in jail. They don't care about that. You better figure out how to do whatever you need to do. You don't get accommodated in jail because you run a business, because you're an artist. They not accommodating you for that. They gonna make sure that they hold it on you. They go home at night like, yeah, man, I locked NBA in. I made him sit down. I put my finger in his tray. People understand that though. Yeah, he talking all that gangster stuff on his music, but this how I handle him. That's what going to jail do though. Yeah, if the judge in Baton Rouge let him out again, that's going to be super crazy. What? It's so many people in the world that had less trouble in their life and they didn't let him out of jail. And for him to be on house arrest with the feds in a federal case, and then you catch a prescription ring, they might even try to bring the RICO up on him. Just because they want to take the big fish down. They might even bring the RICO up on him. Just because they want to take a big fish down. We want to dismantle him. We want to make sure to let him know your money ain't as strong as you think it is. And that RICO, they ain't playing. That RICO, they ain't playing. And if they want you, they not playing. They using your music against you. Anything you put on the internet. Anything heavy you done argue and how you talk about you gonna do this and don't play with me, they using all that. So I don't understand why young boy be on there talking like that. He was on there beefing with Finesse 2 times. All you doing is leaving a trail for when they want to stick it to you. That's all you do. When you on there beefing with people and you on there talking that shit and y'all in there arguing, y'all saying that next level stuff like y'all ready to go to war and y'all gonna take it there, all you gonna do is let the people use it against you. It don't benefit you. What sense does it make? But people think they got that bag, they can't be touched. They gonna break you down though. The same, and think about that though, right? The same people that print the money that he has are the same people that's on his ass. Think about the game of life. Think about the game of life. The same people, the government. The government is on his ass and they the same people that print the money, man. It's the game of life, the circle. It's all a game, man. The more money you get, the more humble you have to get. Because you are the target now. You're the target. But we got it backwards. I'm going to say that. We got it backwards. We think the more money we get, the more cocky. That's how we think. The more money you, and then you got to publicly be cocky with it. Not paying attention to the little people in the back that's looking to get at you. You ain't paying attention to them people because you think the more money you got, the more cocky you got to be. You got to let your peers, your people, the people that look like you know that, man, I got it. But the people that don't look like you gonna lay you down soon as they get a chance. And it might be even some people that look like you. Because honestly, majority of the people that don't look like you are in that field, but there's some people in there. They want to get in that game too. We don't see that though. All we see is, I got the bag. Not that you a target, so you need to move light. Think about your decisions. Stay away from negative people. Keep that stuff out your space if you gonna want to survive at that level. Nobody's surviving at that level if you just said, I don't give a fuck. You're not gonna survive at that level. You're going to trick yourself out of position. So when you look at it, right, these people that they put in these positions and they trick themselves out, how did they get to this position? And then they trick themselves out of the position when they got all the position. And him specifically tricking him out of position because he want to sip the lean. Because he want to sip the lean? Come on, man. Trick yourself out of position because you want to get high. And it don't kick in until it start taking effect on your finances and you can't get to your finances the same. That's when it registered. He ain't know how blessed he was to be home on house arrest. And most of the time when you put people on house arrest, they don't understand that you got the opportunity to still be out there in the world, to watch your own TV, your couch, your bed. It's like people still think, how can they get around things? Nah, right now, that's the time you're supposed to be chilling. Get through your situation, and then if you gonna cut up, you got a chance to fight the cut up. But he done cut up and got with the prescription. You ain't got no fight. I don't see the fight. The lawyer might get him the best plea possible where he say, yo, here, take this 2 to 3. They gonna put the gun case with the prescription, and then you just gonna do 2 to 3. That might be where he go at with it. And I'm saying this early. They might come at him now, being as though that they got another case against him, and say, take this 2 to 3 and 2 years probation, and we gonna merge both of the situations together. And he got to pay the lawyer whatever he gonna pay the lawyer, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, because that dude wanted to get paid. I think they said Lucci paid him $300,000. $300,000 for that situation. So it's like, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Come on, man. It ain't adding up, man. Situation ain't adding up. Let me know what y'all think about NBA Youngboy, man. Leave a comment, man. Hit that subscribe button, man. It's your boy Deezy. SBGB TV. It's not about the setback. It's about the get back. Now.